So why are the Knights Templar still important? To answer that question, I want to tell you a story. There is a commandery in the Pyrenees, an old house, a little old chapel, and a field with iron cross from the Middle Ages. So the iron cross can indeed survive outside because there was deeply oxidated and it doesn't crumble. It protects itself, the iron from the Middle Ages. So there was the plan of the government, the local government, to put a measuring system inside this plateau, which was used by the Knights Templar for the gathering place. It was so high in the mountain that it was hidden from the public. And there lives still a woman, let's call her Maria, and she saw herself as the protector of that place. So when the plan came out that the government wanted to destroy basically the place by putting in the middle constructing a measuring system. She was trying to change this plan, protested, wrote letters, and nothing helped. Finally, she went to the plateau for 7 days fasting with her telephone, still writing SMS in that time, only drinking water. And in the last night, there was she saw a vision in the heavens over her, over the nightly sky, the starry sky. There was an army of clothed Knights Templar with white horses were riding over the sky with red crosses, and they said to her, everything will be fine. So she was very happy, and the next morning she went to a house which was close by, maybe 300 meters. And in that same morning, there came a strange guy, a stranger, and he said, "Oh, this is a Knights Templar place." And she showed him the place, and he said, "Let me call Madrid. I will change this." So, and then the government moved this measuring system from the middle of the plateau to the side. So it's hidden now. The place is not destroyed. In other words, there is something going on with the Knights Templar, and I can tell you more stories about them. I was also involved in the new foundation of a order of the Knights Templar, official order, but for many of us it was a failure. So the story repeats itself. And why this is so, we don't know. There are basically two types of Knights Templar, good ones and bad ones. We will talking about the good ones today and in the next days when I do videos. The bad ones are not interesting for me right now. So this tarot spread talks about the destiny of the Knights Templar since 1307 or 1314 when they were forbidden and destroyed. The first two cards show the overall vista. So there is one is the justice, which is still in place, and the other is the tree, what they call the wands, the three wands, which means that merchant, rich man, is sending out his ships to the world and let them come back. And this is not so anymore, it seems to be. Because we have heard stories from the local indigenous population in Patagonia that the Knights Templar were there too, 800 or 900 years ago. So that this is about crossing the seas, or the Christ order of Vasco da Gama of Portugal was nothing else than just the continuation of the Knights Templar in Portugal. And they were part of the big discovery of the world. So we don't know what these two cards on the top mean. Let's see what the step-by-step story tells us. In the left, there is the Five of Cups, and there's a mourning man who looks at the past. Three cups basically mean the heart. So they were empty, so the Knights Templar Order was destroyed. But he did not look back, and because there were two cups still in place, and there was a bridge into the future. And underneath, as the explanation of this card, is showing up the world. The world means the end of the Gran Arcana, so the end of the story, but also the beginning of a new story. The new story begins. The next card above is Strength, reversed. So there was a loss of power, there was mourning underneath, deepest agony, because all of the loss of the treasures and all the people, the nice knights, and all the people who were truthful followers of the Knights Templar, they have been killed or scattered around and put in prison. Next card shows us the Wheel of Fortune. That means there was something going on behind the scenes. Underneath we see a kind of battle, the Five of Wands. So there was the change of destiny. Something happened. The Wheel of Fortune, or in German, the Wheel of Destiny. The next two cards are the Eight of Wands. That means the Eros of Amor, of love. Underneath the Lovers, a very good combination. What that means, we don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it means when we go to Scotland and we go to Kilmartin, we see there are the old Knights Templar tombs. A whole battalion was there. I mean, I don't want to say too much, but it must be 30, 40 tombs of the Knights Templar with the sword, without a cross, who were settling in Scotland in that time in 1314. It was out of the control of the Catholic Church under King de Bruce. And then you see that these swords from the early knights become part of the coat of arms of the families. So they married into the families, the Knights Templar. This is probably what is mentioned here in the cards. Kilmartin, go to Kilmartin in Scotland and you see it yourself. And then we see a reverse card of Six of Swords, which means going to the other side. And underneath is Temperance. That means that the Knights Templar does not disappear. It means that they put everything together. And I heard enough story to see that. They're still working with the ley lines. They're still working in politics. They're still holding the lights up. Thank you for listening.